Hello, everyone. I'm going to get started by sharing some slides here. Again, my name is Christina. Can I just get a thumbs up that everyone can see the slides? Okay, great. All right. So today we're going to be covering Canvas as our first Tech Tuesday. And again, I'm Christina. Our agenda for today is going to be organizing content into modules, viewing the course in student view, and that just means that we're going to be able to see exactly what the students would be, testing out different things like modules and exams. We will be showing how to customize our tool menu or navigation menu, whatever you may know it as. We're going to be talking about the new quizzes functionality within Canvas and the different question types, as well as using the link validator tool, which runs through your course and tells you which links may be broken, and ensuring that your course is accessible to anyone using it. So before we actually jump into all our topics, I'm actually going to launch a poll. We're going to be just capturing what everybody's experience level is within Canvas right now, and I can kind of guide my session towards whatever most of the responses are here. We're getting lots of responses, yay. Okay, we actually got 100% answered. Vanessa, if you'd like to share the results. So it looks like we have a little curve here. Definitely a few newer Canvas users, and then we got a couple people with experience. So I'm going to try to cover everything to the best of my ability, kind of covering for the newer folks as well as the more advanced users. Awesome. Close out of that. And for this demo, I'm actually going to I have a set of slides here that we will be sending out to everyone once this presentation is over. But I'd actually like to do a live demo within Canvas to show you how to use these things and really get the full functionality and see the full experience in this session. So I'm going to stop sharing the slides here. And I'm going to start sharing my Canvas course I created specifically for this Tech Tuesday. All right, so on my screen right now, you should see what is a Canvas page. And this is a sandbox course that I've created to just kind of do an introduction to Canvas and just show what a nice layout and a very easy followable format would look like within Canvas. So what I'm going to offer at the end of the session, if anybody would like to be added to this Canvas course to learn a little bit more, I will get it in tip-top shape and send it out so that maybe you can use this as a learning experience. So as I said, the first topic we're going to be covering is modules, and I actually have my modules linked so that when a student clicks on the first module, they're taken into their modules and shown the different topics that are going to be addressed. So this module is called Canvas Orientation, and within this module, I've created different topics related to orientation, starting with the Canvas overview, Canvas terminology, instructor guide, and a bunch of other different topics. So to create this module, I clicked on the orange button, which is a very popular feature throughout Canvas, most of the times within pages, files, and the different functionalities. You would create something by looking for this orange button and creating a module, then naming it. Then once your module is created, you can then nest different topics within the module, and you would do that by clicking the plus button within that specific module. You have an option of choosing a bunch of different things that you can incorporate within your modules, such as assignments, quizzes, files, pages, discussions, headers. Header is just like adding a body of text to provide more information or more detail about what the module may consist of. And external URLs and external tools are for things that will lead you outside of Canvas. The external tool is used for linking videos within your module. So what I've done here is created this, and I've set up a set of requirements within this module. So I'm going to hit edit by clicking these three buttons here on the side of the module, clicking the word edit, and then you can see that you're able to lock this module if necessary, if you needed to lock it and release it at a certain date. But what I have set up here is a requirement that the students who are enrolled into this course must view each of these items that I have created. If you have multiple modules, you can also create requirements that a student must create a module before proceeding to the next module. And I'm going to show you what that looks like to a student. So over here in the top right-hand corner, you should see an option called Student View. So I'm going to click that. And now we are in what is called Student View. So as you can see, there's these little circles that appear next to the items that I have marked as required that the students absolutely need to view within the course. So if the student goes in and clicks in within the overview, they are seeing a page that has an overview with some text, and then they see this next button that will take them into the next module item, which is Canvas terminology. And this is super useful for any new users because I'm going to be kind of throwing these terms out a lot. So these will be available to you at the end. But things like activity stream, announcements, assignments, calendar, Canvas community course, all these different things. And once the student has completed viewing this topic, they can proceed on to the next one as well and just kind of page through this module. Let's say I want to go back and I exit the course and I would like to see, as a student, I would like to see where I had left off with my Canvas orientation. The students receive a check mark so long as they met their requirement that I have set up within this module. So the student will always know where they have left off so long as you've made this assignment a requirement. The instructor guide and the editing tools menu and redirect tool, I did not make as requirements. So that's why you do not see the little circles or a little check mark there. So, all right. So that was our module and student view overview. So now I'm going to go into talking about editing this tools menu. So I'm going to go down here in the bottom right to leave the student view. And we're going to go back to the home page. So as you can see on this left-hand side, I'll zoom in a bit more. We have this navigation bar and we see lots of different things that by default come into your course. So there are times you're going to want to, you may not need all these different topics here. You may not use all these tools and they may not be relevant. So we may want to hide them or we may want to add new ones. So by going into settings and then going over to the tab navigation, you can see all these items here are disabled currently and all of these items here are enabled. To enable or disable, you just click the three dots beside the item and then you can disable or move. And then from the bottom list, those are the items that are hidden. You can enable the different items. You can also drag and drop as you find fit what is most relevant to what your students are going to be using in the course. So let's say you don't use the terminology maybe exactly to how it's written in Canvas. Let's say you have something called course resources that you want your students to be able to navigate to within this navigation bar. What I've done is written up some instructions on how to use the redirect tool. So I created a page called the redirect tool, and I've written out the instructions on how to create your own item with its own name to show up within the tool. So I created a tool item called redirect tool. So that way, anyone who joins this course, if they want to learn, hey, how do I redirect a page, this is how I would do it. And I'm actually going to take you step by step. So you'll go in here into the settings and you'll go into applications and you'll actually type out redirect tool and you will see this blue arrow and we will want to add the application in. And I want to create a page called course resources. And I want that page to directly go to a page that has a lot of information on it. So I'm going to do that by, bear with me one moment. I'm going to choose a page from my course called About This Course. So I want this page to be my overview for Canvas. So I'm going to copy the link of this overview page. And I'm going to go back to my redirect tool. Pro tip to have the link copied ahead of time. And then you would just paste the link here and then check the box to show in course navigation. And then once you have all these things checked, you can click Add App. And then we can click Home. And then now you can see I have a page called, I have a task down here called Course Resources. I'm going to want to go back into navigation and I want to actually move that up so students can see that as one of the first items. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and hit save. And now course resources is up at the top and it specifically brings me to this Canvas overview page. So this is covering the topic of customizing the tools menu. Before I get into new quizzes, did I have any questions come up about anything?
Not yet, Christina.
Okay.
So if you want to move ahead, we'll just look for questions then.
Awesome. All right. So now I'm going to jump into quizzes. And during this part of the session, I want to just note that there is, again, this lovely orange button here when we want to go and add quizzes in. There's an option for classic quizzes and new quizzes. I'm really highlighting the functionality of the new quizzes. I really want to steer users towards using the new quizzes because it has almost all exact functionality as the classic quizzes, plus a bunch of new different question types and things like that. So I'm just going to call this as a test quiz. You have the option of setting up points. You could do a letter grade, GPA scale, complete, incomplete. You could so far as even create your own default grading scheme. I've assisted users in creating pass fail or high low and all different kinds of different grading conventions. So the grading display can be changed to whatever it is you need it to say. I have this assignment group to show up within modules since my students are going to be using modules for this course. And then the submission type is already set by default. You can assign to everyone, create a due date, and then an open date and a close date. So we will build this up. All right, so this is what it looks like. If you had questions pre-built, you can choose them out of your item banks. An outcome would be if we're setting up questions to follow one another, if they had answered a question a certain type of way, it could take you to a whole nother set of questions or an outcome to a certain question. So instructions would be added here, so you can just write those in. And then by just clicking this blue plus button, you would get all the different types of questions. So as you can see, tons of options here. I actually have a pre-built out quiz that I'm going to show you all, highlighting one of, I think, is the coolest types of questions. And we're going to build to get to the next screen. And what I would like to do is preview my quiz. So within this quiz that I have pre-built, I have used a question called hotspot. So in this question, they're saying, please identify the heartbeat line. So this is the heartbeat line. The student must hover over and choose where the heartbeat line of the images. You can use images of any anatomy part and be able to have students label different parts of the body. I think this could be a great resource for anyone who has images in their examination. I've also embedded a quick 5-minute video within this quiz. So a student could watch this 5-minute video and answer the question of what did they tell us the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So if they understood it, they would click yes, no. Again, you can change these question types, change the answers. I just kept everything pretty basic, but this new functionality allows for a lot of different question types and integrations, and I think we could really build some advanced assessments. So I'm going to submit, going to give me the warning window, and then I have it set so that the students can have immediate results. You can set the exam so the students do not receive immediate results, but I could see that I had this area marked. I selected the correct answer for identifying the heartbeat, and that I watched this video and I understood the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So now we're going to go back. I'm going to exit this preview and return back to the course. All right. And then the next topic. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today for new quizzes. So we can address any questions about that maybe towards the end. The next tool I wanted to highlight was the link validator tool. So within settings, I'm going to make my window a little bit smaller. We see that we have lots of options here on the right. I want to use the tool called Validate Links and Content. So just going to click on that. And I ran this I ran the link validator tool, and I had copied this course from a previously built course that had a bunch of assessment questions and a bunch of things that I wasn't planning on using in the course. And as you can see, because I didn't fix any of those pages and I have all these items that are not relevant to my course, I have 81 broken links. So in this tool, it's specifically telling you where the broken link is. So you can actually click onto the question and you could see that this question has an image attached to it that's not available. Since I'm not using this question, I'm just going to delete my question from my quiz, and I can see that all of these have images that I'm not using in my exam. So I would probably delete this examination since I'm not using it. And it would change the outcome of this tool. So I'm going to delete all these banks since I know I'm not using any of them. And what I'll do is go back to my settings, go back to my link validator tool, and I'll restart the link validation process. And it does take a few minutes for anyone. Doesn't matter what Wi-Fi network you're connected to or which network you're on. It takes a bit of time to comb through the course when there's a lot of links and a lot of different pages. While this is cooking up, I'll just head over to our homepage here and talk a little bit about our last topic of the day, which is going to be talking about course accessibility. Now, course accessibility is something that is super important, and I feel like a lot of people just assume that to make a course accessible, it needs to be designed for a specific type of person or specific thing, when really when we're creating courses or creating content, it should be accessible for anyone, anywhere, anytime. Okay, so as you can see, I fixed all that, all those quiz questions, and I went from 81 broken links to 63 broken links. So this is a good example. Again, you click on the different links, it guides you to where it is, and then you can go in and repair those. So that's where I'll leave off with the broken links, and I will get to my homework later by fixing all the broken links in my test course later on. All right. So I'm going to share a slide here. All right. So these are some key topics that I always say to keep an eye out to make sure your course and your content is accessible. Use clear layout and design with nice bold text and good colors with good contrast. Creating really understandable content so that anybody could follow the steps or, page through a course and really be able to understand the topics that you're trying to bring about, and things like using modules and using a very understandable layout for students is really important, because then they can always keep track of their work and just stay on top of those things. And then also we have lots of professors and lots of users doing videos, and it's really important to have a video caption and a transcript that comes with your videos. We'll be doing a separate presentation on Panopto, which is a great tool that we use for videos and presentations that integrate really well with Canvas. Over here on the right is the accessibility checker balloon window, which means that this is what you would see if your course had no accessibility issues. I'm actually going to stop sharing and start sharing my course once again and show you what it's like to run the accessibility checker. All right, so we're back in our sandbox here, and I want to edit my homepage and check to see if this homepage I've created is accessible. So I edited the page and I scroll, I come down here to the bottom where we see what appears to be a little person with his arms out, orange button with the number 3. This is the accessibility checker. So I'm going to click on this and it pulls up the checker within this window. All right. In this first issue, it is saying that this image here should not be used as the alt attribute describing the image content. So let's go ahead and describe this, and we're going to say it's the Weill Cornell logo for information technology. And I'm going to mark it as a decorative image since it is a decorative image on this page, and I'm going to hit apply. And then over here is a logo I've taken from the branding site. So I'm going to say home figure, which is also decorative image. So I'm going to hit apply. And then I also have this calendar icon here. So calendar. And I'm going to mark that as a decorative image as well and hit apply. So now I've fixed all 3 of those accessibility issues, and now the accessibility checker has came back and said no accessibility issues were detected. I got the balloons. This looks really good. I'm going to update the syllabus I've created, and a lot of the times the accessibility checker does pick up most accessibility issues, but just some things when you're working in a course, if you have different headings within your course, it's important to use the different heading features and the different fonts and the different paragraphs within the rich context editor. This really helps keep the content very organized and would be understandable for anyone who may be using a screen reader, or things to just help out with any accessibility related issues. It's important to just use some bold colors and strong colors that are easy on the eyes. Update the syllabus. And I will stop sharing now because this is the end of my presentation here. And I would just like to see if anyone would have any questions about Canvas, or if anyone would like me to do any live demos.
While people are thinking in the chat with any questions they might have, I was just curious. So if somebody is brand new to Canvas, like we had show up in the poll, how would they initiate opening an account with you? Just for people who came in late, a little later in the session, to get started with using Canvas, and where could they go for assistance?
Absolutely. So let me just get signed in here. Gonna begin sharing my screen again. All right, what you are seeing here is the Weill Cornell My Help Desk. And if you have a question related to any IT topic, this is really the place you would start. The link, I usually, when I'm on the homepage, will just type in My Help Desk, but this link up here, I will copy and paste into the slides so that you have it for later. So I'll add that in at the end, Vanessa, so that users can have this. But this is the system where you would request any tech questions or consults. So I'm gonna direct you here towards request something. And I have, as you can see already under my recent items, a Canvas EdTech request. Under the service catalog, you can actually just type in what service you're looking to get assistance with. So if you would like to request a new Canvas course, as you saw, I had like something that was called a Tech Tuesday sandbox. If you would like to request a sandbox or anything of the sort, you would go to, you'd search for Canvas and then hit Canvas Ed Tech Request. It would bring you to this page with fields. It'll tell you the quick bio on Canvas. There are no fees for this specific service. It's intended to be used by faculty and academic support staff, and it's accessible to all WCM staff, faculty, and students. So you'll populate your name, your number, and then what you would check within this box is a general Canvas consultation, or to create or change a Canvas course. I would say if you're a new user, let's start with the general Canvas consultation, and then specify the department this is in reference to. So if you're with anesthesiology, if you're with HR, whatever group you may be with, just type in the name of your department you're with, and then go ahead and provide me with any details of why you're interested in using Canvas, and then I'll go and create a course for you, and then just request that you would like some training, and then I'd also be the one to provide that for you. So again, I'll provide a link to the My Help Desk so that you can put in a request for a Canvas course if you would like to test it out.
Awesome, thanks. We did get a question in the chat that might be worth demonstrating for everybody. Does the quiz functionality in Canvas facilitate grading essay or discussion questions?
Does it facilitate it? Do they want it done automatically?
I am not sure, that's not in the chat, but I guess if you want to show how it would work for essay and discussion questions, I think that would help overall.
Sure. So let's go ahead. I clicked into my quiz. I selected my anatomy identifications quiz, and I'm going to hit build. So this was the quiz I had already pre-built out. So I'm going to add a question type, and I would just like to show there's a few different types. There's fill in the blank, and there's essay, There's also file upload. So let's start with the essay. Let's name this Q3, and the prompt is, please write your essay below. Your options for creating your essay, you can show calculator on the screen, provide a spell check. If you would like to set a word count or a word limit, you're able to do that as well. So I'm gonna hit done, and oh, I have to set a minimum. Let's do a minimum of 250 and a maximum of 350. All right, so I'm gonna preview what that looks like for the student first. All right, so then the student would just go ahead and be able to type their essay. What I'm actually going to do is I stop sharing so that I could pull up a course that actually has a question with an answer to it. So I can show you how to use the tool functionality called the speed grader. So just bear with me one moment. The speed grader is a tool that's integrated within the quiz functionality so that you're quickly, easily, and able to read the essay questions and then respond back to it. I actually don't have anything with an essay. I only have things that have, that might be multiple choice at this time, but at least this will show a bit of the ability to use the speed grader functionality. So what would happen here is you would see the response of a student's examination, and then you would be able to provide a comment here and easily grade the assignment. Because this is an assignment that is already pre-graded, it, it populated the points here, but generally you would be able to just populate your points here and then add some comments about it and then proceed on by just clicking submit and then go to the next student and then see their responses and then add the comments and keep going on. Again, this is where you would see the essay question, but in this example, I'm just showing just a simple question to a multiple choice. So the speed grader, and I can provide more information on that within the slides that I'm going to send out. So I'll provide a link to that.
Perfect. This one was answered in the chat by Rob, but I just wanted to read it out just so everybody could see the answer in case they're not following the chat. From Irfan, once the Canvas course is created through Canvas EdTech request by you or your team, does the user who requested get access to actually build the course with different types of contents and quizzes, etc.?
Yes, I will set the requester as the course admin for the course, which means they have full capability to use all the Canvas tools and create anything that they'd like in Canvas, any kind of assessments, and they'd have access to all the different tools and functionality.
And a follow-up just came up from Irfan. In order to distribute the newly created course to students, how would we go about it?
So if the students are Weill Cornell users, we have a few different ways of adding students into courses. It's very simply, I will share my screen once again and show what the process of that is. All right. So within your course, there's a tab called People. You'll click on that tab, and then as you can see, there is just me, and I'm the teacher in the course. To add people, got familiar with this pretty orange button I've been talking about within each page. And I usually add users using their email address or their SysID, which is also their seaweed. So I'll go ahead and type out the username. I'm going to add myself, and then you can choose the role, whether it's student, course admin, or whatever it may be. I'm going to add myself as a course admin. Next, and then I get the green check mark saying, there's the user I want to add, there's their ID, this is the institution, and we can add users. There's also an option to bulk enroll students. So if you have about like 50 or 100, I can send you a spreadsheet that we can upload right into the course and get those students enrolled. We also have a tool called Canvas User Creation Tool. And what this does is, if you would like to add someone who may be like an observer from outside of Weill Cornell, you can actually create a Canvas account for them with this tool. And the way you would get access to this tool is actually very similar to how we requested the Canvas course. But we can actually create a Canvas account for those users who are not affiliated with Weill Cornell or any other affiliated institution with Weill Cornell. Just to keep in mind if you had any other outside users.
Are there any other questions that Christina, Rob, or I saw Doug also chimed in with ETG can answer for anyone today? And while we're waiting, Rob, I don't know if you also wanted to chime in with anything else about Canvas that you wanted our participants to know today?
No, just that earlier question about discussions and quizzes. So there is a discussions feature in Canvas that can be used. It's, just a standard web discussion forum. Things can be locked down so that only the instructor can propose topics, or things can be opened up so that any user, any student could also start their own topics and start their own threads. And, they can be graded discussions at which point, then they would become, something that shows up in the grade book. So yeah, just wanted to follow up on that earlier question.
Thanks, Rob. I do see a question in the chat from Tiffany about whether you're asking if we're going to offer this Tech Tuesday again. Right now, we don't have another Canvas session scheduled, although we have done multiple at some points over academic years. So we'll definitely be promoting any sessions that we have on Canvas again, should it become available. But just in case you logged in late, we are recording the session and we plan to send it out to everybody who registered today so that they can go back and reference it whenever they need. So, you'll be able to access this exact session again if you need to refer to it. And Christina did just show if you needed to have a consultation about a Canvas course, you can always ask questions that way by going to my help desk and looking for that Canvas request form to just ask questions that you might have about your course and get some assistance. Anything I might have been missing from that, Christina?
Nope, I could always do same way, submitting a request. I do one-on-one training and I do group trainings for departments all the time. So I'll get connected with you, Tiffany, no problem.
Awesome. Are there any other questions about Canvas today that we could help with? Going once, going twice. All righty. Well, thank you everybody for attending our Tech Tuesday session today. Big thank you to Christina and Rob for joining us and teaching us so much about using Canvas. And, we'll be sending a follow-up email very shortly today with the links that we discussed during the session and the recording as well. So thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to seeing you at more Tech Tuesdays this year. Thank you, everyone.